I said it's great to be a Florida Gator. I said it's great to be a Florida Gator.
I want to get your take. Just give me your take.
Best Final Four ever. 3 games, 2 on Saturday, 1 on Monday. Every winner of every game, there's 4 teams, there's 3 winning teams, came from behind. They were down at half. 11 points decided the 3 games.
Yeah.
We had action. We had drama. We had the best player in the country, Cooper Flagg. We had the best team in the country, Auburn. And we had Michael Clayton Dagger. Scored 30 points, back-to-back games, best since Larry Bird. Unbelievable. I could go on, but let me hear from you, Big Ben.
I want to start with Cooper because he's the headliner, right? One of 4 freshmen named Wooden All-American, and then Player of the Year, AP Player of the Year. And he had the opportunity to cement his resume, where you're like, 1 year, I'm the best player. I won the title. I did it all, right? I can leave with a clean bill of health. I can go on to the NBA and start my career. That fadeaway jumper, Leitner versus Flagg, they're going to play those back-to-back. Leitner hits it. Flagg just demoralized. Just short. Front rim, right?
Yeah.
Duke goes down. And then you see in the next game, Houston comes back. Kelvin Sampson wills the team to victory, it seems like. I don't know if he out-coached Shire, but it was just they wanted it more. They were dogs. And then Florida, gosh, how Florida did that. The senior guards, Golden, who's now the youngest coach to do it, right? 39 years old. He looked like a player up there when they were celebrating. He had a backwards hat on. I looked, and 9 points differential. That is so finite, but that's what you get when you get 1 seeds. It looked like I said to myself, this looks like an NBA game if the NBA players actually cared about playing in NBA games, right? If they had one, it seemed like Game 7 of the finals. Enjoyable. And you're right, to see a team come from behind again. You got the feeling that they were never out of it, though. I don't know if you got that, too.
They hung around close enough. But to go back to your Cooper Flagg thing, I wasn't making eye contact because I was doing a little research. He had a chance to one-up Carmelo Anthony.
Mm-hmm.
So Carmelo, freshman, won a title, most outstanding player in the tournament. However, he did not win Player of the Year. TJ Ford from Texas did. So Cooper could have got the trifecta: Player of the Year, most outstanding player, and win it. Like, arguably could go down as the best college player of all time. But they could not convert in crunch. I was listening to a podcast early. Yeah, that's right. I was up early today. I think Duke was 1-4 in close games this year.
Mm-hmm.
And in Shire's career, I think he's less than 500. It goes back to what I said 2 weeks ago. They have the talent. I'm just concerned about the X's and O's to execute. Kelvin Sampson team, despite last night, usually executes in close games.
It was almost like people wanted Duke to lose.
Everyone wanted Duke to lose.
You're either
I threw a party. I had 30
against.
people. The only person that wanted Duke to win is because he could have won some money in his bracket.
Duke will. It's going to be that way, I think, in perpetuity forever around Duke. But you're right. I think the young coaches will figure it out. Sampson did hold that advantage. I think he talked after the game after they won that game. He's like, I told these guys, you can't lose, right? You got to go out there and win, get every rebound. I don't know if Duke's cachet kind of prevents them from getting gritty and, doing these things, but
I think it was the youth.
Okay.
Like, Duke has 3 freshmen, like a junior. The 3 freshmen will all probably be top 15 picks. And experience matters in a high leverage situation like Houston, Auburn, even Florida. They have 22, 23-year-old guys who've done it before at other universities. And when it matters in clutch leverage situations, we saw the younger kids kind of shrink in that moment.
Agreed. in the portal, there might be, you think about the portal, there might be a clutch statistic. Like this guy's the closer, right? Let's bring him in because he can. But I think we're going to continue to see 23, 24-year-olds play against 19-year-olds throughout the tournament, throughout the course of the season. Best Final Four I have seen in a long time. People wanted a Cinderella story, but I thought those games were like you had the best players in college basketball playing against each other.
Yeah.
And that's
look
rare
at
to
Florida's run. Down 8, beat UConn. Back-to-back national championship. Took them out. Should have lost to Texas Tech. Down 10. Down to Houston. The comeback kids. And Michael Clayton Jr., everyone was talking about like his offense. He's mini Steph Curry. He's clutch. 0 points in the first half. But he didn't give up. Like he wasn't pouting. He was playing. He had 7 assists. He was doing other things. And everyone talked about Houston's defense. And what it came down to was Michael Clayton Jr.'s defense. If you go back and see the replay, he was caught under the basket. He thought the big was going to roll. And then he sprinted out and closed out, and Sharp couldn't get it off. And that's why they won.
All right. I'll say that this doesn't have to be the last comment, but I'll say this. You know what's funny is Kelvin Sampson, I think, with Sharp dribbling the ball out of bounds. He said, I want a redemption story. I want to watch this kid hit a 3. Yeah. And to your point, you know, when they ran that play, there was a run out from, I forget who it was. I think it was it Harrison? Who was it? Where yeah. Well, he went up and that he didn't see that, or I guess he didn't predict, or he thought coming off that screen he was going to have a wide open 3. He didn't, right? He had to put the ball back on the ground, double dribble, game over.
That was Clayton.
Yeah. So I think to your point, Clayton's old enough, understanding, going, all right, I've got that theory played out in my head. I know it's probably going to go to Sharp again. Close out, game over.
Yeah.
Redemption story lost, but overall phenomenal game.
Well, it just goes to show, like, even if you aren't scoring, there's other ways that you can help your team win, right? Like, if he just kind of like zoned out, like was, down on me, my draft stock's gone, he wouldn't have closed out and won that game.
No, I got you.
Hello, and welcome to Big Ben and K-Win. Each week we broadcast live on YouTube, so drop your comments below. If you're watching this on demand, drop your comments below. More of an audio podcast person? Don't worry. We're everywhere you get your podcast. Download, listen, subscribe, 5-star review us. I'm K-Win. He's Big Ben. We already talked about the Final Four, the best ever. We're going to talk a little NBA, maybe a little MLB, and then we'll get you out of here.
All right. Where do you want to start? NBA or MLB?
Let's go NBA.
Okay. Shoot. What do you got?
So we all know OKC is going to get the number 1 seed. And despite what happened the last 48 hours, they got blown out by the Lakers. They still are the best team in the West, head and shoulders above the rest. But who's the second best team in the West, Big Ben?
Well, odds makers will tell you it's the Los Angeles Lakers, followed closely by the Golden State Warriors. And I heard the narrative around kind of who's the next best team is who's the most trusted player, right? When it comes to the playoffs and NBA, just being able to carry their team. And I think a lot of people are picking Steph over LeBron. So looking at the landscape of the team now, he doesn't have Clay. He doesn't have Kevin. That's obvious. So what can he do with just Draymond and the rest? The guy's still the best shooter in the league by far, bar none, right? So how far can he go? I think the odds makers, as well as everyone around the league, trust Steph a little more than, say, LeBron, simply because he can take over a game from a shooting perspective. I think in the interesting part here is a lot of people, second best record in the Western Conference is Houston. But odds makers have Houston at like plus 8,000. When you look at that, it's simply, I think it's the best. The narrative is the best player on any team is really Steph Curry, outside of Shai and OKC.
So we've got Lakers, Warriors. I'd even throw the Nuggets in there as potentially the second best team because they got the Joker. But I don't trust Jamal Murray, and I don't think they have enough shooting and spacing or enough defense. That was all there during their title run. That is not there this year. So throw them out. So it comes down to the Warriors and Lakers. But give me the Lakers as the second best team in the West. Give me the Lakers coming out of the West. Give me the Lakers in the finals versus the Celtics. Boston versus the Lakers. And they'll get swept. Hear me out. The Lakers have, in my opinion, more firepower than the Warriors, right? You can say you got Steph versus LeBron. That's great. But then you look at Luka. I think he's better than Jimmy at this point, and Austin Reeves is better than Podziemski. So those big three have to score at least 90 points per game because the Lakers have a very small bench and they go very small. I think they can do it. I think they can get hot. I just don't think they're good enough against the Celtics. We saw this last year. Luka struggles against athletic, strong wings, and the Celtics have that. And what it's going to take for the Lakers to get to the finals is Luka and LeBron to play at least 42 plus minutes a game, 7-game series. Exactly. They got to win 3 series. They don't have any bench. I think they can get there. I just don't think they can win.
Yeah. Anyone who gets to the finals, you're right, is going to be cast. The Western Conference is still really, really, really a really good conference. I mean, not necessarily top to bottom, 1 through 10. I think the last team in the play-in game right now. I mean, the Suns may not even make the play-in game. They're a pretty good team. They have Durant, they have Beal, they have Booker.
They'd be like a 5 seed in the East
easily. So it's going to be treacherous. And to your point, I don't think the Lakers are built to have. They don't have a deep bench. You can't run a second team out there and then watch them, give up, watch you score 4 and the other team score 14. Like, you can't do that in the league. That's just, and then the first teamers have to come back in. Like, you're going to have to find a formula where, Luka and LeBron aren't on the floor for at the same time for an extended period. I still like the Warriors, to be honest. Like, just because you can absolutely find space to where Curry can shoot them into the finals, right? You don't need going to the rack. You're exerting less energy, in my opinion. Obviously, it takes less energy to shoot a 3 than it does to weave between just some massive bigs and try to put one in the hole. So, my opinion,
do have defense over the Lakers. I know everyone's like, "Oh, Lakers were the top defending team after the AD trade." Yeah, they were for a couple weeks when LeBron was playing his butt off. Then LeBron got injured. I don't think they can sustain the defensive effort. The Warriors, they have Draymond. He might win Defensive Player of the Year. Jimmy's pretty good. They got a system intact. But I'm still going Lakers.
All right. We'll see. We will see. To be determined. To be seen. OKC is at plus 140. I mean, and then the next followed by Cleveland at plus 170. I don't know if Silver wants a OKC Cleveland final.
Definitely doesn't.
He definitely doesn't. He wants a Boston LA final. Like, that's what he's looking for.
Or Boston Golden State.
Yeah.
Because that's the rematch of when the Warriors beat them a couple years back.
Either or, right? So I think that odds makers kind of don't look at that. They look at the team, just the landscape. But I don't think Silver wants Cleveland OKC. He doesn't want the Rust Belt versus the Bible Belt.
No, he doesn't.
You want to talk bats? Let's talk
want one more thing in the NBA. What do you think about the Meta smart glasses, the Ray-Ban Meta smart glasses?
I would never wear them. You know this. I don't. Why? Why do you ask?
$300. Get them polarized. They're $350. They're classic eyewear. Ray-Bans are just classic eyewear mixed with AI technology. However, the Ray-Bans, like the Houston Rockets, are 2 years away from contending, Big Ben. The Rockets, they've got Jalen Green, they've got Şengün, but they don't have very much flexibility. The Ray-Ban glasses, they only come in the skinny Wayfair. Like, I've got a fatter face. I need bigger rims. I need bigger laces. There just needs to be more flexibility on the Ray-Bans.
You never buy V1 of a product, right? You and I both know this. Never buy V1. So you would never buy V1 of the Rockets being good, right? Like, that's probably at some point it's going to break down. Like, the OS isn't going to boot up and something's going to go wrong. Jalen Green's volatile. And he is.
He's young.
He's young. They're all volatile, right? They on a given night. Yeah, that's why you probably see odds makers at plus 8,000. Like they don't see it as feasible, right? Especially when you still got LeBron, Curry, these types of guys running around the Western Conference.
Well, the Rockets can capture wins through rebounding and defense, just like the Meta glasses can capture a first person experience with a built in AI assistant. But the glasses and the Rockets need to be more well rounded. I don't like how they close games. They take difficult shots. They don't get the right people involved. I don't think they have all the pieces together yet. The Rockets and the glasses are at least 2 years away.
Agreed. You know what's not 2 years away?
What?
Torpedo bats. They're
Let's talk
here.
about it.
Well, they're here to put. Okay, so torpedo bats manufactured in the USA. Okay, when that's important.
So no tariffs.
Exactly. Thank you. No tariffs. If you want to get a torpedo bat manufactured either here in the Pacific Northwest or in PA, I think the name of the company is Victus. Victus Sports in Pennsylvania. And we want to talk. They made a splash,
Yeah.
big splash. The
Week
Yankees.
one. It's week two. I don't know if the torpedo bats can save the economy, but they might be able to save Major League Baseball.
Well, here's the thing. I don't think they are. They really are. If you look at it, this people are focused on the Yankees and more importantly, Judge.
Yeah.
But Judge is Judge. Judge is going to do Judge things. He could have a toothpick up there, and Judge would have, as many home runs as he
But
does.
he doesn't use the torpedo bat.
My point exactly. So, like even though, because Judge is the guy that far and away, he's got what 8 home runs in 10 games. Okay, when he's on pace for 96 home runs and 288 RBIs, I mean that's insane. That's just Judge, though. I mean, it's simple that he's the best power hitter in the game, bar none, right now. Torpedo bats, I don't know. You know what's funny about this? See if you'll get this. I could see someone walking in arbitration and saying, "Hey, I hit so many home." They're like, that was a torpedo bat." Like, what does that do for your average, your home runs, your RBIs, and so forth? I just don't think the Major League Baseball in general, over the course of the first, let's call it 14 games,
Yeah.
has normalized. Like there's tons of anomalies still out there. Judge isn't one, right? Judge is, I think, going to do what he does, but a torpedo bat hasn't made, oh gosh, let me think of it. Dylan Moore, forever, utility man on the Seattle Mariners. He's not using one and hitting 13 jacks. That's just not the case.
Well, and the stats are a little skewed. I said it last week. I'll say it again. The Yankees played their first 6 games in Yankee Stadium. The stadium is notoriously a home run friendly ballpark. They played against some bad pitching against the Brewers. I think the Yankees will continue to hit and score runs. That's what they do. They build their team around offense. But the stats aren't going to be so crazy. Like Anthony Volpe isn't going to hit 50 home runs all of
Right.
a sudden. Like Chisholm isn't going to hit 45. Like baseball has a way of evening its way out throughout a 6-month season, right? Those people that stay hot in April, go cold in May, get hot again. But when you have 500 at bats, you're playing 6 months over like 130 games. It's just not really going to make that big of a difference.
Well, yeah, people will glean onto it because it's new. Baseball doesn't change all that much, right? Like it does, but it doesn't, right? The nuances of the game might change a little in order to speed up the game or something, but you don't see innovations come out where it's like, oh wow, this is the first time there's been any sort of innovation in a long time in the way of a bat or a ball or a whatever it is. But I think you're exactly right. So I'm going to call it the Texas Rangers right now. They're 8-3, negative run differential. And they're as a team, I think they're hitting 184. 184, and they've won 8 games. Like, how does that happen? Their slash line's 184, 257, 323. It's atrocious. But somehow they're 8-3. Like that's head scratcher, right? How does that happen? To your point. All that will be like everything will come back to the mean.
And that's how you win in the playoffs in the World Series, right? Like the Yankees couldn't do the little things last
Mm-hmm.
year, like the errors, the miscues on the base pass, the miscues on defense. It's things like that as the offense goes and comes. The real teams really do win out. But I want to go back to the torpedo bats. Everyone's like, oh, they're going to get banned. Major League Baseball is going to ban them. Listen, Major League Baseball didn't ban steroids for
No.
like 30 years. There's no way they're going to ban the torpedo bats because it's action and it's offense.
Exactly. You're exactly right. Like more eyes on the well, that guy's got a torpedo bat. Now people are watching. They might have a torpedo bat giveaway at games. Like anything to bring more people into the game, just for the idea that they had those multicolored bats throughout I think it's Players Week or whatever, where they can like that type of stuff where it's engagement or belief or new in baseball is gonna hit headlines and probably put some more people in the seat.
This is what Major League Baseball loves because usually they get lost in the NCAA tournament, the NBA playoffs, because that starts around the same time Major League Baseball kicks off. Now we're talking about torpedo bats. We're talking headlines. Like the commissioner loves this. This is good for the game.
Good for the game. You're right. Good for the game. Not necessarily great for batting averages, but that doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter. Team batting averages. It's fine. It is fine. Would you use a torpedo bat?
Yeah, but I don't think it's really going to make a difference.
But do you feel more confident? Here's the thing. Do you feel more confidence going up? Like, I got a torpedo bat.
You probably do.
It's kind of like a new car, right? Like you get a new car, you have a little more confidence, a little more swag, a little more, even though it's probably the same as your old car, goes just as fast as your old car, just looks slightly better.
I wonder if people are going to stick with the torpedo bats, right? Because you get hot, you use them. You go cold, are you going to be like, it's this damn bat? I need a new torpedo bat, or I need to go back to something else.
I joked, like, I'm going to inquire with all these companies that are manufacturing these bats. If things get hot, I want some early stock options, right?
Yeah.
Things get going really well. Let's get on that.
Yeah, I'll use your bat for 2% equity in the company.
There you go. That's been done in the past. How do you do it, Aaron? Torpedo bat, manufactured by Victus. That could have happened.
Yeah.
You're right. The MLB there's a trudge in these first 2 months before things actually amp up and we figure out kind of what teams are who and what teams can do what. So
remember 4 days ago? Oh, the Dodgers. They're going to go undefeated. They can't be beat. They're like 7-0. They go to Philly. They play a great team. They lose a couple games. Like everything evens out. Like the first week is not how the season's going to end.
In fact, it's probably the opposite. Yeah. like to be honest, it is the opposite. It's going to be flipped on its head. You look at the stats in LA and in terms of slugging, in terms of RBIs, home runs, LA and New York are just they're going to dominate.
Yeah,
it's true. Other teams are going to have to figure out ways to piece things together to beat them. LA versus New York would be. What if we saw to that point? We saw because we saw two teams. I mean, Houston and Florida are probably well-known college programs, right? There wasn't. And then you go if we got a Lakers Celtics final, and then you get a Boston or New York LA. Oof. Yeah. Cooking with gas. I don't know what the equivalent in the NHL would be, like a Boston versus Toronto, something like that.
No, LA Kings.
You forget they have a team.
I know. You get lost behind all the star power in LA.
All right. Let's get out of here.
All right.
Can we?
Why don't you take us out of here?
You got places to go, people to see, things to do. Big Ben KWin _ on all your social media, TikTok, Threads, Instagram, Facebook, wherever you find us. And if you're a podcast listener, just go to your favorite podcast, do at Big Ben KWin or just Big Ben KWin. You can listen to all our episodes, go 5 stars, leave comments, do what you want to do. We're here each week with just updates on West Coast sports or what's going on in sports. And
if there's no West Coast teams in it, we'll jump on the bandwagon of another team.
Sure. Go Houston.
It's great to be a Gator. Boom.
Boom.
Michael Clayton, great NBA player. Whoever gets him late first round, second round, he's going to come in. He's going to compete at a high level.
You're going to be Warriors guy, right? He's a Warrior.
He is, but I don't know if they can get him. He would be good. You know where he'd be good? He'd be good on the Knicks.
Ooh.
He'd be really good on the Knicks.
He would be. He wouldn't even have to change colors.
He would not. Yeah. They were comparing him to Kemba Walker,
I like
2011
it.
Kemba Walker.
Hopefully, he has a better career than Kemba in the NBA.
Exactly. But Kemba got paid.
True.
I'm out of here. I'm about to go get paid.
Vegas.
Oh, yeah.
Lay some money on OKC.
Okay.
All right, let's do it.
All
Go
right.
Thunder. It's
All
great.
my money's in the stock market that went down, though.
Boom.